Crookes tube, which is basically a tube made out of glass, and it has two electrodes, and one is a cathode and the other is an anode. And these cathode and anode, they're attached to a battery. So they're attached to a battery of 10,000 volts. And what they did is, initially, J.J. Thomson, what he did was, he had this tube with him, and he connected it to a 10 volts battery, and then he started reducing the pressure in the tube and seeing what happens. Okay, so he noticed that when the pressure was high, nothing really was happening. The tube was still empty. No difference. But as and when he reduced the pressure, by the way, that should be 0.01 mm. It's not 0.001. Right, so it's take 10 out. It's like 10 less, and that when you reach that pressure, he started noticing green light. Okay, that is going from the cathode to the anode. Now, because this light was emerging from the cathode and ending up at the anode, because its origin was from the cathode, it was called the cathode ray. He noticed that all of these rays were going towards the anode. All right, and anode is positively charged. So so he noticed that, okay, so these things that are within this light, they must be some particles that are negatively charged, which is why they're going to the positive terminal. So he was like, okay, fine. So I know that this thing has a charge, but does this thing have a mass? And in order to check if that thing has mass, what he did was he attached a paddle wheel inside the Crookes tube, and he allowed the cathode rays to pass and hit the Crookes tube. And then he noticed that the Crookes tube started turning. So it's not just that these things were negatively charged, but that the cathode rays were negatively charged, but the cathode rays also had some particles, which is why when, in the video, when you saw that professor, he was using a laser light. The laser light did not deflect to the magnet, but the cathode rays deflected to the magnet. Why? Because the cathode rays are not just negatively charged, but they also have particles in them. Okay, so that is the reason why not all green light is cathode rays, but cathode rays are negatively charged particles, and negatively charged electrons, to be precise. Okay.